I'm Dr. Matthew Housson. I'm a clinical psychologist at the Housson Center, and we test students who have learning disabilities, attention problems, and any form of childhood challenge that affects children's learning. You know, heritage, when people say the name heritage, the word sweet and engaging and kind comes to mind. The teachers that have been at Heritage have been there a long time. They're tenured teachers. Heritage has just a strong reputation of working with children. Gail Holman, who's the director, is a top-notch educator who's hired experienced teachers, and those teachers really do care and provide, high-quality education. And I really like the fact that the teachers at Heritage have been there a long time. It's a sweet school where they take really good care of their children. I want to make sure that the school fits the child's profile. When we do an evaluation, we're really intentional about looking at visual skills, verbal skills, memory, attention, and social functioning. And so that's the matrix that we look at to make sure that the child's going to fit really well with the school. And Heritage is, one that is well defined in what they can do. And so they are good when we send a family over there saying we can serve this student and help them, versus, there's other schools that might be a better fit. It's a community-based school, and then just this fact that the teachers that are there tend to be highly experienced and just good people. I feel like Heritage has a lot of community, and I think that there's a lot of family and parent engagement, and I think that especially now families are looking for extensions of their family and communities, and I think this is a hallmark of Heritage, as well as providing good dyslexia care, language processing. The fact that there's a speech language therapist on staff helps quite a bit for a lot of families because of the overlap between language processing and learning disabilities. So I think that's a nice feature of Heritage. They understand how language and language processing connects to learning disabilities. So blending speech language care with reading intervention, the interventions for reading are varied and they're tailored to students. And so I feel like an understanding of what a learning disability is and that one size doesn't fit all is a nice feature of Heritage. It's hard to find one because I think there's a lot of examples of students that have gone there and families would say, we can't get them in the car to go to their school, they're anxious. Heritage is kind of a warm blanket that when a student's struggling, they find a lot of peace and comfort. And so I think at a psychological level, they're not going into the school with high cortisol levels, which are markers of stress. They're calm, and then their brain can work like it's supposed to. It's always fun for me because, we are fortunate, we work with a lot of young children, so letting a child get placed and seeing their progress and then seeing where they go, what stands out for me is that they go to a lot of different schools that their parents, 5-10 years earlier would have said, I never thought they would have ended up here. And so I would say what stands out is that they find their way. Families typically say that was a really good decision we made for our child. I think that most people look back and say, parenting is just a process of screwing up and learning from your mistakes. And I think they don't feel like going to Heritage was a mistake. I feel like they feel like it sets their children on the right path. Heritage matters because it's a faith-based school that's, in a prime location with high quality care. And I think that in the middle of Dallas, we need options for families who have 2 or 3 or 4 children who, really can't, with Dallas growing, get to where they need to be. It's a centered school.